short to play it on speed run. Only get one, no option to rerun. With Babylon goes who high to reach them. Down to earth, stay grinding when storms come. Rat race, only one to run from. Better say cheese, but say split in the funds. Living in the moment, I ain't worried about none. I'm straight chillin', back against the wall, too acquainted with the feeling. Like you lost the mark, find a way if I'm willing. Only fear God, not sweating this lost children. Price on my head, exported a few trillion. Suicide missions, whatever.
So you join me here today at Big Adams Lake at Hayfield Lakes in Doncaster. I'm going to talk through some carp fishing down the edge for big carp, say £10 plus. Now, I'm fishing in the bit of a deeper water. I'm fishing just off a pallet where it's about 2.5 foot. So in that case, I want to fish different baits to say ground bait that I fish in shallower water. So I've opted for hard pellets. Now, I could have fished, say, micros, or I still could have fished ground bait, just really wet down. But I think if they can come in on hard pellets, they're a lot easier to catch. And hopefully they will today. Now, as far as my tackle goes, I've got a long kit with red hydro elastic. Now, I don't think there's any other elastic I'd use for when I'm fishing for big carp. Nice and strong, you can land them in relatively quick, and it's not as strong as you might think, especially after you've used it for a while. As far as the rig goes, I've got 022 main line, again, nice and robust. I'm fishing up against the pallet, so I might end up, my line might rub against the pallet now and again, so I don't want something light that might break. Nice robust main line. I've got 2 number 8 back shots. It's a bit windy today, just to keep everything nice and stable. To be fair, I always use back shots, even if it's flat calm, especially down the edge, just to keep that float pinned. Because when a few fish come in the edge, your float will just be moving all over the place. Float-wise, I've got a 0.4 JL Guru float. Now, all this is basically an elongated muddy. So a muddy float is probably an inch or two less in length. So it's just a long muddy, basically, in a 0.4 of a gram. If it was, say, 4 foot, I'd probably use the same float in a 0.6. It's just a 2mm bristle, fiberglass stem, nice and durable, nice and strong, not going to break. Down to the bottom, I've just got 5 number 8s and then a number 9 stots. Again, stots over shots, just because they don't ping off. Sits nice in a little bulk. I could use 6 number 8s, but I've used a number 9 as well, just so I have a bit more bristle showing. I think that's really important. And then a 4-inch hook length of 0.19 to a 16's SMWG. Again, nice strong hook length. I don't want anything to break, especially later on in the match when, you know, they could rock up with 15 minutes to go and you want to make the most out of that time. But yeah, that's the rig. Right, so we've just gone down the edge. Which is always a good way to finish a match. Just up to on cue. And basically all I'm doing is, it's quite deep there, it's probably just over 2 foot, pushing 2.5 foot. And all I've done all day is just threw some 6mm down there. Now, you could use other baits, but I like using hard pellets. I could have used 4s, but I think 6s just stand out that bit better, and it stops you getting small fish as well. So I've just threw 6s there, just throughout the day, and it's a good way to finish your match and just drop on it. Now, as far as how I'm fishing it now, I've just got a large guru one, full of 6mm with an 8mm pellet on. Now, we talked through the rigs earlier, but nice strong tackle, red hydro, because you don't want to be messing about when you hook them as well. Now, because it could be like a vital part of your match, you don't want to mess about and take time fishing light gear. You want to make sure you can get them in as quick as possible. You also don't want to rush it too much, because they are big fish as well, and they tend to be the bigger fish of your match. So we'll just get this one in. And when they rock up, you can do a massive weight in no time. So just come on. Nearly ready. There we go. It's probably £8 or something. Yeah, £8–9. And it's been like that for the past 20–30 minutes, just one every single put in. And it can be stupidly good, especially late on. It's not something that you do really early in the match, but it's something you want to focus on later in the match. Now, like I said, you could have fished other baits, but I just think keeping it nice and simple, using hard pellets, in this case 6mm with the biggest 8 I can find, just filling a large guru up to the top. Now if I feel like I need to feed more bait, I could step that up to a paste pot, just a larger volume of 6mm. Just go back in again. Now it's a bit of a pain here because it's full of rocks close in, and plumbing up was a bit of a nightmare, but I found a little spot just in front of this pallet, so keep everything nice and quiet, don't want to make too much noise, and just lift your float straight over the top, slowly lower it in. Now you've got to be patient as well, you don't want to be striking at the wrong sort of bites, just waiting for that fast dink on your float. Just keep everything nice and still. Nice short lash. I think if you fish too long of a lash, your rig can be out of place more. I've got 2 back shots on just to keep it steady. And there's actually a leg of the platform there as well, which stops the fish getting behind my float a little bit. Now they'll still get behind it but it stops it from them getting from one direction. And I think if you can fish up to something like this, and obviously the pallet gives them a bit of cover, it lets them feed a little bit more confident. It's just a little sign on my float. Just gotta be patient. Come on. Oh, go on. And they are big fish when you get them, so don't worry about catching at a million mile an hour. You know, it might be a case you only catch, say, 2 or 3 really late on, but them 2 or 3 could easily push £30, £35, sometimes more depending on the venue. Straight away again. Just try and go in for this one, just try and direct it away. Obviously I don't want it to go back to the platform. This red eye joke's lovely really. You think of it being really strong, but it's really stretchy once you've used it a couple of times. Just keep everything nice and low. Try and keep it away from that platform. The last thing you want to do is end up snapping your rig and then having to redo your rig up again when they've rocked up. Now this is just a way of fishing it when you've got a bit of a deeper edge, opposed to your shallow water edges where you'd fish ground bait or something like that. Come on, get your head up. Oh, he's a bit bigger, him. Just got 2 fish there for probably 15 to 18 pound, maybe a bit more actually, probably these 10 pound at least, maybe a bit more, 12 pound. So 2 fish for 20 pound in no time, which, to say you could catch nothing early and then going into that last hour, catch a few of these late on, you're straight back in it. Just try and unhook it. Yeah, he's big. Just make sure everything's nice and set. Just move that back shot down a little bit. Not the back shot, the bulk. And go on, back shot's moved up. Yeah, nice strong gear. I don't think there's any point in messing about, especially for big carp when they're feeding. We're in September now, so I don't think they're shy line or anything. There's no point of stepping down, just nice strong tackle. And just repeat the process. It's not really that technical really, it's just repeating the process, and if something changes, say I was getting too many fish, maybe I could go into that shallower water, but like I said, it's full of rocks, and if I went into that shallow water I think they'd be a pain to catch. I think if you can catch them here on hard pellets, well, I just don't think that's in the gob. That's not in the gob. There's that many fish that are now laying it off on the back of them. You've got to be careful. I don't want to snap my rig, so I just want to keep everything low. The last thing you want to do is end up breaking anything. So I'm probably not going to get this in. Probably what I want to do is try and ship back to a top kit. If I get it in, great. If not, is what it is. I'm not really expecting to get it in. So the last thing I want to do is break anything. I don't mind breaking my hook length, but I don't want to snap a top kit. Or yeah, it just fell off, that one. So there's a few fish now rocked up. We've seen a few swirls. It's 2 foot, so you probably will see an odd one, but definitely a few fish rocked up. Struggle to lay my rig in them, really. But hopefully it should go any minute now. There's definitely some fish rocked up now. It was good earlier, but I just fed it again. Left it 5 minutes and just saw about 3 tails, so just sit there nice and patient. Just waiting for that fast bite. I'm surprised it's not gone already, to be fair. See, I don't want to strike at them. So that's fish running into my rig. Just want to wait for that proper bite. The big fish, you don't want to foul hook them. See what, there, my float's everywhere now. You see a big tail pattern to the left. Just in that bit shallower water to my left. So it goes really rocky closer in. Just on the edge of it here. That was a proper bite. I'm gonna come back in and feed again. I think as well, because the big fish, they eat a lot of pellets, and I don't really think you can feed enough. They'll clear pellets out in no time, especially big fish like this. There's another tail pattern now. Keep everything, don't want to make too much noise. Make sure they're down. Just lift my whole rig out just so I don't lay it on one's back. Try and wait for that rig to straighten up. It's a bit hard because there's a fish probably on my float. Yeah, if you look at my float now, I don't want to. That's ridiculous. Oh, I just pricked a little fish then. Just felt a fish as I lifted the rig up. Straight away, followed that pellet down. So we'll get this one in and we'll conclude on that, finish on that. You see how good it can get. Straight away, as soon as I fed them pellets again and dropped that rig in, it must have watched that pellet down and just had it straight away. So again, keep everything nice and slow. That concludes fishing down the edge for carp. When it's a bit deeper, fishing hard pellets can be a great way to catch them. Just keeps them on the bottom and keeps it nice and tidy, and I feel like they're so much easier to catch. Keep everything nice and low. Just lift up right at the last minute. Don't want to lift up too early, then you'll end up playing it under your feet for ages. Keep everything nice and low. Now lift up. Got him. Another big common. And a few of them. Must be again, he's over £10. When it's in your net, just try and get it in between your legs. And just get the hook out. Try and hold him up for you. I don't know how well he's going to behave. But that concludes fishing in the edge for big carp and hard pellets. Try and hold him up for you. Do the best I can. I'm not going to get him too high for you. But yeah,